بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معكم الأستاذ جود هذا مدرس اللغة الإنجليزية الصف الثامن الدرس الخامس سلسلة برنامج تعليم عن بعد في الهيئة التربوية التعليمية. درسنا بعنوان اليوم Part 2 الجزء الثاني Active versus Passive Voice. Here we'll focus on some uses of the tenses and we'll do the exercises. Okay, dear students, let's start. First of all, before I do the exercises, I revise with you. In the first part, we talked about the forms of the verb tenses in English. Here, I'll revise with you some important uses for each tense and some signal words used with these tenses. And after that, I'll do two exercises for you. The first one to change into passive and the second one is to change into active. So as I told you in the first part, here we are talking about in this chart, we are talking about forms in active, and in this chart, we are talking about passive voice forms. First of all, let me tell you about some important uses of the present simple. Here, we need the present simple to talk about repeated actions or daily routines, as you can always hear from your teachers. Now, we can talk about some signal words used in this tense. We can talk about adverbs of frequency, but here, I want to tell you something important. Most teachers tell you that we use the adverbs of frequency only with the present simple, and this is an error. Why? Because we can use them in the past simple, we can use them in the present perfect, we can use them in the present continuous. Imagine when we want to express criticism or annoyance. So in general, we use the adverbs of frequency in the present simple tense. For example, always, sometimes, usually, or on Sundays, every day. Okay. Now, we can talk about another tense, and here we are talking about the most important uses of the present continuous or progressive. Here I can tell you about an action happening at the moment of speaking, okay? So an action happening now or at the moment of speaking. Another important use that most teachers neglect this use when we talk about the present continuous or use present continuous to refer to the future. So pay attention, dear students. I am not only talking about an action happening at the moment of speaking. For example, I am driving my car now. We can use the present progressive or present continuous to express future, but in different use of will or be going to. For example, I am traveling to London tomorrow. I am traveling to London next Thursday. In this case, we are talking about using the present continuous to express the future. Okay, dear student? But it is, as I told you, different from will and be going to. In the case of will, we are using will to predict, for prediction or for sudden decisions. So will plus a base form is used to express a prediction. Now, in the case of be going to, we are talking about plans. Okay? Here we are talking about something that when you talked with someone, for example. So, for example, I talked with my uncle in Britain. I have my ticket with me to visit the museum. So, in this case, we use present continuous. Present perfect is, and don't forget, dear students, to use the present continuous to express the future. And another use when you talk about an action that happening for a limited period of time. So we are talking about a temporary action. For example, I am working at a restaurant this summer. So in this case, that means I don't always work at a restaurant. I am a student, but only during this limited period I am working at this restaurant. So it is used to express a limited period of time. Another use is to express the present continuous when we want to talk about a longer action, longer activity. For example, we are living in Lebanon. Scientists are trying to find a cure for cancer, for example, nowadays. So we are talking about a longer action. It may be used for several years. Now, present perfect is used for an action that happened in the past with results now, or happened in the past and may repeat it in the future. We can talk about some signal words used with this tense. For example, just, already, recently, for, and since. Now, already. Now, we can talk about the simple past, and here we are talking about an action. I am trying to simplify things for you because we are only revising, dear students. So we are not talking about the details because we are only revising for you. Simple past is used to for an action happened at a specific period of time or at a definite time in the past, and here we can use yesterday, last week, last year, ago, and a definite date, for example 2010. Here we are talking about past continuous, and this is very important for you 8th graders. Why? Because I may ask you to correct one grammatical error in a sentence that contains two tenses. For example, we can use the past simple for an action happened first or was in progress and then another action happened. In this case, we can use the word while, okay? Or we can use when or as. So here we are talking about two actions. When the first one, which was in progress when the second action happened, and here, for example, while I was walking, while I was driving my car, okay, I saw an accident. So here we are talking about one action that was in progress when the simple past happened. So in this case, I may ask you to identify the grammatical error, for example, to correct the past simple or past continuous. We can also use the past continuous to talk about two parallel actions. So two actions were happening at the same time in the past. Pay attention. Two actions that were happening at the same time in the past. Here I told you that we can use while, when, and as. But pay attention. When is used in the past continuous and past perfect. So in the past perfect here, in the past perfect we may use when, but we use already. Why? To say that, to express that, to refer that an action happened before another action. So when we talk about the past perfect, namely had past plus the third form of the verb, in this case we are talking about two actions, and here it's very important for your next test. You may be asked to rewrite a sentence in a conditional sentence. In this case we may need the past perfect. You may be asked, like the same previous example, to correct one grammatical error in this sentence because it has two tenses. So in this case, we are talking about two actions. One happened before the other. Now, here students find a difficulty while they are correcting this error because they don't know if they are using the past continuous or the past perfect, especially when we talk about when. So they are similar. Here I may tell you that this is very important note for you. When I use when, I say already. I say in the example, I write in the example already. So when I arrived home, don't forget that the second part of the sentence will be in the past simple. When I arrived home, my parents had already had their lunch, So we are not talking about an action which was in progress when the second action happened. It's very important for you. Now, active voice, here we are talking about simple future. So here we are talking about the basic use of will. The basic use of will to express prediction. It will be rainy tomorrow, for example, or to express a sudden decision or a spontaneous decision. For example, just a moment, I'll bring the marker, dear student. Okay. Now, we are talking about the future perfect, and here we are talking about an action that will be finished. Pay attention, will be finished in the future before a certain period of time. For example, tomorrow at 3 o'clock you can visit me. Why? Because I'll have finished my homework. Again, tomorrow I will have finished my homework at 3 o'clock. So here we are talking about an action that will be finished. Will, don't forget, future, will be finished before a certain period of time in the future. Now let me, please dear students, because I am very short of time, let me do the exercises with you. You can correct your mistakes if there are any. Now in this exercise, read the sentences in passive, rewrite the sentences in the passive voice. So they are in the active. So here we have a subject, verb and a complement. Snow covered the mountains. So here, first of all, what is the first step, dear students? Start with the object. And then you can repeat the video many times. You can write down your notes. So don't watch all the video and say, I don't understand you, my teacher. So you can write your notes while you are watching this video. You can make a lot of pauses. In this case, you will be able to understand everything. Here we are using the object in the place of the subject, so the mountains, and here pay attention to the subject-verb agreement. Covered is in the past simple, so I need a past simple form of verb to be. So the mountains were covered, the mountains were covered. And here, because it's a regular verb, so we are talking about the same form. Cover, covered, covered. So the mountains were covered by snow, by snow. And here is the answer for you, okay? So the mountains were covered with snow. Now the professor is going to show, the professor here we are talking about future. The professor is going to show the students an old bone. So here the students is a direct object, okay? The students is a direct object. The students, okay, are, pay attention, subject verb agreement again. The students are, the professor is, the students are going to what? After to, the base form of verb to be. The students are going to be, show, showed, shown. The students are going to be shown an old bone by the professor. The students are going to be shown an old bone by the professor. So as I told you, we can drop the subject. We must write to her. We must write to her. Pay attention. Here, the object is an object pronoun. Why? Because I have a preposition, and after prepositions and verbs, we always use the object pronouns. And in the beginning of the sentence, we use a subject pronoun. So here we need to convert this object pronoun. So in the case of the subject, we need she. So we must write to her she. Okay, start with she. She must, and after must, we need the base form of what? Of verb to be, and then follow it with the third form of the verb. So she must be written to. She must be written to. Okay, dear students. Now, they expected us to build the road. They expected us to build the road. The same case here as object pronoun. Is it changed into we? So, we. They expected. So, the introductory example is in the past simple. So, please use the past simple of verb to be. So, we were, okay? We were expected. We were expected to build the road. We were expected to build the road. Now they understand Spanish. So what is the form of verb here? First of all, decide, dear students. Decide the tense, the verb tense. So here we are talking about one form of the verb. We are not having the helping verb and the main verb. So in this case, we only have present simple or past simple. And you need to memorize the regular and irregular verbs. So understand, understood, understood. Here you can decide it's in the present simple. In this case, use verb to be in the present simple, am, is, are, and follow it with the third form of the verb. So Spanish is understood by them. Don't forget to convert they and make it them. Now, my friend bought a new car. A new car was. Pay attention, bought. Again, bought. We have only one verb. We have only one verb. This is very important. We have one verb. So, directly decide that it is either in the present simple or the past simple. As you know, buy, bought, bought. So, it is in the second form. I need a verb to be in the past simple. A new car was bought by them. Don't forget to focus on the subject-verb agreement. A new car was bought by my friend. Now, Fadia takes photos. So, photos are. Text is in the simple present. Again, am, is, are plus verb 3. Photos are taken. Photos are taken by Fadia. Photos are taken by Fadia. The boys can play football. Here we have a modal verb, and the modal verb is always followed by the first form of the verb or zero form or base form. So football can be played by the boys. Football can be played by the boys. Now the last one, here we have two choices. John gave me. Here we are talking about a direct object. Here it is an object pronoun, and we convert it into the subject pronoun. So John gave me, I was given. Past simple, I was given a bunch of flowers. So the first choice is I was given a bunch of flowers on my birthday by John. Now here we can use the second object. Pay attention, dear students. You have a choice here. A bunch of flowers. A bunch of flowers to where? Because we are talking about the plural. No, sorry. A bunch. Pay attention, pay attention. Pay close attention here. We are not talking about the flowers. We are not talking about a bunch, singular, a bunch of flowers. So a bunch of flowers was given. A bunch of flowers. A bunch of flowers was given. Okay, a bunch of flowers was. Pay attention. We are not talking about the flowers. So I may ask you the same in the exam to correct these grammatical errors, and you may think flowers is in the plural. So in this case, we are not talking about the flowers. We are talking about a bunch, only one bunch. So it is in the singular form. Now we have some examples for you to make them active. They are in the passive, and we need to make them in the active. So it's a contrary step. Football is played by the children. Is played, present simple. So children play, not plays. Children play football. Okay, dear students? The children play football. Coffee is sold by Malak. So it is in the present simple. It is in the present simple. Why? Because verb to be is in the present simple. So Malak sells. Don't forget to add s. Malak is singular. Malak sells coffee. Malak sells coffee. Now the telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell invented only one form for the past simple and present simple. Alexander Graham Bell invented, okay dear student, invented the telephone. Now the club was founded. Here I am not talking about the verb find, found, يجد. No. I am talking about a regular verb means found USS. Found, founded, USS. So Ryan founded, okay? Ryan founded the club. The bag was packed by his mother. His mother packed the bag. We only need one form in the past simple. This is everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you, dear students. Goodbye.